G'day guys, old bum here. Today's day 2, actually the morning of day 3. But then I got to where I was going to camp and my wife rang and said that Bundaberg had copped a massive storm, check bomb, which is the Bureau of Meteorology, and see what's happening down there. And so I did that, and it didn't look promising. So I opted to head into town. It was about another 9 k's through some really gusty wind, and I no longer booked into the motel, jumped in the shower, got out and I thought, what's that noise? And it was absolutely teeming down. So yeah, it was a pretty heavy downpour. But the good news is, today we've got some better weather, cooler days, so less chance of storms. I like that. I just need more coffee, I think. I'm just heading out on the cycle path now out of Tin Can Bay. I could have easily stayed in bed for another 4 hours. Slight sprinkling of rain at the moment. I can just notice it on my sunglasses. I'm going to camp up at Harry's hut in the Lonesome National Park there tonight. Down in there is where I'm going tonight, through them hills and down the other side. I'm going to head down through Lonesome Cove on the Rainbow Beach Road, and that'll get me onto the, I think it's Lonesome Park Way, or it's a state forestry road that goes through the park anyway. Oh, that's just the Rainbow Beach turn off just up there. So much for the clear weather. I'm riding right into that. Does the Kona count? Well, there's only one way through this, and that's through it. Don't know how deep it is. Oh, hopefully that's the rain for a while. Anyway, it stopped. It's nice and cool. Water's nice and cold today. It's not stinking hot like it was yesterday, so that's good. It's a tough little track, this. Just going slow, a lot of sloppy stuff, a lot of rocky stuff, a lot of soft stand, you name it, it's got it. Who needs a mountain bike though when you've got a Sutra? I've got about 21 kilometres to go before Harry's hut. It's been slow going, a lot of walking, a lot of steep, not long hills, but just steep short hills, but are very washed out and rocky and yeah, just crappy. The rain's still stayed away, although it is still very overcast. Little patches of blue. Anyway, hopefully I can get to Harry's hut and get set up before anything major might happen. I'm out here in the peace and quiet and loving it. That's all I can say. Glad I wasn't camping under that one.
I only got about 44 kilometres done yesterday because I got to the turn off where I wanted to go into Harry's hut and camp, and the rangers had the road closed. Apparently the storm the night before, we had brought a lot of trees down. There was a lot of trees down on the trail or the road when I was riding through. Also brought power lines down, so there was no access. The ranger was pretty sympathetic to me riding all that way to camp and not being able to, so he generously offered me a lift into where I am now at Marine Point. Yeah, I hadn't long got here and it started pouring again, and the wind, there was a lot of the severe gale warning for the coastal region where I am.
That's the Apollonian Hotel. That's where I had dinner last night. It's also where my wife and I got married in 2001, all those glorious years ago. And just about there is where we stood and said our vows. So this pub has quite significance to me and my wife, so yeah. Well, I've just left Marine Point. A lot of rain again this morning. It's starting to break up now. So I'm on McKinnon Drive now, heading for Tewantin. Oh no, drop bears, next 5 kilometres. I'll have to be careful. Kind of funny. I'm travelling down here, I'm getting the odd toot and wave from the odd motorist. But I find it ironic, the few cyclists that I've passed have been very reluctant to say good day. On the bikeway now from Tewantin, and I'm going to head into Noosa and onto the David Low Way. This follows the river along, and then I can cut across through Noosa. I just had a really good chat with an old guy at Tewantin when I stopped there just having a drink, and he was just telling me about his touring days and the places he'd been, but now at 88 he reckons he's too old for it, and so he's just riding his old giant road bike around town. Yeah. I think I've come out the wrong side of the river. I'm going to have to go up the hill. The first time I rode up this hill, I was on my road bike in a semi-compact crank set, and now in an 1125 rear cassette. Now I'm doing it on a fully loaded bloody turbo. Just stopped and had some lunch at Coolum, and it was pretty blowy. I was on the road and I noticed the bike path, or the path here, and it's right in behind the trees. I'll be staying here as long as I can. Most of the hills are done for the day, it's all pretty flat now. Commute app has got me right off David Low Way, which is good, and it's got me along the Sunshine Coast Conservation walk, which goes along the waterfront, so that'll be nice. It's nice and shady and pleasant, so that'll be good. Well, I'm in Maroochydore now, just riding along the Maroochydore River. And then the rain's just starting to sneak in, so we'll see what it holds, and afternoon brings whether I make it through to Glenview or not.
Look up, the sun.